I know. Let's just shove our bodies full of food, be disgusting food whores, and then slip into a coma for the rest of the afternoon until you burp, make a tiny bit of space, and then cram some pie in it. Welcome back and happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, Kaylee and turkeys in the turkeyverse.
Gobble, gobble, it's time to wobble.
I just
Y'all,
always
it's-
am taken aback.
Every week I have a new greeting to try to freak you out. Guys, it is Thanksgiving week. I feel like it's kind of our holiday now.
I was just thinking, turkey, Thanksgiving, the turkeys.
It's Turkey Day. All right, well, it's turkey time all the time for us. But in honor of the turkey season and Thanksgiving and all the family gatherings that are about to take place, we are going to, I don't know, we're going to try to discuss maybe some do's and don'ts, things to discuss, possible topics to enjoy so that you can have a peaceful and non-confrontational Thanksgiving Day.
I like it because it always gets. It can get controversial, especially when you got like extended family and just all the people that have so many different opinions.
There's lots of people with a lot of different TikTok opinions that don't need to be discussed or shared. So we're going to try to create a roadmap for you guys. As a side note, if you would like some advice on how to guarantee drama, join us on the dark side of this conversation on our Podle, exclusively available on YouTube, where we basically give you all of our pro tips on how to ensure that your Thanksgiving Day is an absolute shit show.
We interrupt this show to let you guys know today's episode is brought to you by our new YouTube exclusive series called Poddle. Brought to you by us, non-sexual soulmates, the Poddle episodes are short and sweet, but they are actually far from sweet. Join us for our Saturday morning shit show where we explore the comedic dark side of today's topics and expand upon our long-form podcast shows by doing the exact antithesis of it. If you like rants and rage and a place for judgment, our first Poddle is live as of Halloween. Dropping every Saturday morning, check out the Poddle on YouTube. Now back to the show. I'm getting riled up over here.
So with that being said, I don't know, man. I just was really thinking about this the other day because even things that didn't used to be controversial now feel like they could potentially set people a flurry.
Mm-hmm.
So I struggled. I struggled for a little bit. I don't think that you really can't even like discuss the weather because apparently the weather is now political. I wouldn't even really mention that birds are singing because that could start a whole thing.
What, because they don't exist?
Because birds aren't real. I don't know why. I still haven't quite figured out why they're not real, but for some reason birds aren't real.
Do you want me to do a surface level just...
Yeah, why don't you explain this to the listeners in case anyone has like a Gen Z brother that's going to come to Thanksgiving and walk in the front door and say birds aren't real? Can you help us and the listeners understand what this means and why this is in the zeitgeist right now?
This was not planned, but I just feel like if we're gonna bring it up, I should probably explain it. So I think birds are real, but maybe not all birds are real. So there's a conspiracy theory that the government has put fake birds with cameras and they're just watching. So that's why people say birds aren't real or birds are fake.
In this theory, do people think that all the birds of the world have died and they've been replaced by government spies?
So that's where I'm like, that doesn't really make sense unless they've been doing this for that doesn't make sense. I can see that maybe not all birds are real, but people who are like all birds are fake. I'm like, that's kind of stretching it for me.
Do you think anybody actually thinks that, or it's just they want to fuck around?
It's probably like 70% just want to like really hammer it home, and maybe the other 30% may have some screws loose. But I'm not
Mm.
gonna. I mean, I could see like 20% of the birds. Maybe I don't know. I'm just kidding.
I have a hard time believing that if you're going to develop a spy animal, that it would be a pelican. This this has to stop somewhere. Like, is it just sparrows? We don't need to go into this. Just guys, don't talk about birds at Thanksgiving. And if your family member says that birds aren't real, if your whole family's down to just have like open table discussions about possible conspiracy theories, go for it. But I feel like chances are you've got a boomer parent that is not down. So all around, I just don't recommend it. They don't like this existential, nothing is real topic.
Yeah, because it fucks with their reality, and it's just like my whole life is a lie.
I know. They
Yeah.
just, I don't know. Maybe they did that. They had their time. They had the Woodstock years. They've already done this. So they're just like,
They're over
shut
it.
the fuck up. Anyway, no birds, people, and no weather. I think someone thinks, I'm not even going to go into it. I think there may be some people who think that the government is operating the weather and they're using satellites to create global warming. I think there may also be racist theories about the weather. So we're just going to avoid it in general.
Probably smart. Yeah,
Yeah.
weather manipulation. Just breeze through that.
Yeah. Just don't,
Breeze.
if it's a sunny day, just don't even bring it up. Just blast right by. Did you know? I don't even think that within my extended family, I don't even think the NFL is a safe topic anymore.
I mean, as much as sports are like, they should be, not well, there is a conspiracy theory, but we don't have to go there. But people get so heated about their teams. It's kind of stressful. It's like right or left. It's like the Cowboys are not the Cowboys. It's like it's stressful.
I'm also more meaning that
Oh,
this could be the culture of the South, the part of the South that I live in, but there's this whole brood of people that are like, I don't watch the NFL anymore. It's gotten too political.
oh, I see where you went with that. That's also a valid way to look at it.
It's really killing my vibe because the Packers don't play on Thanksgiving anymore, but back when we always used to play the Lions on Thanksgiving, it's like a core memory of everybody watching football. And it's probably because there was no sports controversy in my family because everybody is a Packers fan. So that was no problem. But now I'm pretty sure there could be potential members of my extended family if we were all together, which we won't be, but if we were, that if I turned that on, I'd be like, turn that off. We're not watching this.
That's that sucks. I mean, say it even is politicized. I mean, everything could be politicized, but it's a football game. But you
I
know what I
know.
could live without? You know what I could live without?
What?
Them showing Taylor Swift every 10 seconds.
Oh, I don't know. I kind of like it because it bothers people.
It bothers me. I'm the bothered.
Oh man, even Jason will be like, "What are they doing?" And there's Satan lives inside me somewhere. Um, all right, but listen, okay, so football's off, weather's off, definitely no birds. There's always the classic "What are you thankful for?" conversation. Everyone can go around in a circle. Everyone can say a little blurb of what they're thankful for. In the spirit of practicing, I can say that I'm thankful we're doing our podcast. I am thankful, but I should not have to shovel snow on Thanksgiving. I'm thankful we have a double oven because it makes cooking so much easier. Oh, it's the best. And I'm thankful for my dogs that I cursed about before this podcast started because they were barking, but I still love them. They bring me a lot of serotonin.
I love it. I will bounce off of that and say I also am grateful for a double oven, even though we're not hosting Thanksgiving this year, but we will be hosting Christmas. I am grateful for our new family. It's going to be our son's first Thanksgiving, and obviously that's a whole thing to be grateful for. Even though, yeah, his screams may be in the background of this podcast. um,
To
we
clarify,
thought
they're his screams of delight because he's found his voice. Kayla is not neglecting him.
no, no. We try to plan this around nap time, but a little unpredictable. Um, and I'm thankful for not having to shovel snow. Except I would like it to be chilly.
Me too. I'm hoping we
So
have a little bit of a cool breeze.
yeah, we will. We'll put that out there.
Oh, here's a fun one. Everybody sitting around the table, you could all go around and share your double jointed skills. Pretty lighthearted, shouldn't be a problem.
Like it, like it.
I can't do, there's the one my mom probably right now as we speak is doing it where you just do the top joint of your finger. And my one brother can do it, and he can do it on all of the fingers where just the top joint bends. And as a kid, we called them his witch fingers. You could also include in this conversation the tongue curling. Can you do that? I
There's
cannot.
one where you. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yep, you can. You can roll
But
your
then,
tongue. I cannot.
but there's one also where you roll it and then you make it like a 3-leaf clover or something like that.
Yeah, you like fold it in the midst. And then
I look
there's
like a
even people
fool.
who can like roll it over.
Oh,
They
like
can
all
like
the way,
roll it
like a
sideways.
180.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
I can't do and I need to quiz Jason when he gets home. But word to the wise and caution, do not get into the genetic factors related or surrounding curling your tongue versus not curling your tongue, and definitely don't do a Punnett square because you could reveal an awkward adoption situation that no one knows about.
Yeah, honestly, don't bring up ancestry or DNA. What is it? 1, 2, 3, me. What is it?
I think there a 1, 2, 3 in me. 23 and me, 23 and me, 1, 2, 3 and me. Close enough, whatever.
I have a child. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Okay. Other topics safe for discussion. And that also I just want to share. What is your favorite Thanksgiving dish / what is your icon family dish? And then if you have a multi-generational Thanksgiving going on, you could even maybe discuss like tips and tricks for how to cook it, but just be careful that it doesn't get too critiquey because people might get butt hurt.
Okay, this is interesting. I agree with the let's go around and say what our favorite dish is, like what's an iconic family dish. But if you have a favorite dish, it could be controversial to ask for the recipe. I have noticed and come to the realization in my adult years that I think that's like a northern thing, or maybe it's like a cultural thing that I don't feel like it's blasphemy to ask someone for the recipe because I feel like it's a compliment.
This is really interesting.
Yeah. So maybe like now I ask and be like, hey, so good. If you share recipes, I'd love to get it one day, but if not, totally fine.
Whoa. I've never in my life considered that. I mean, people ask me for a recipe and I'm like, sorry, bros, I don't follow them. So, I mean, I'm a pain in the dick in that regard. But I would take that also as a compliment. That is very interesting. All right. Well, apparently know your family culture. But my favorite, my favorite Thanksgiving dish is, the iconic family Thanksgiving dish is called cranberry fluff. And before everybody freaks the fuck out, it's not cranberry sauce. It is this weird thing that my mom makes that's probably technically a dessert, but it's Thanksgiving, so there's no rules. And it's basically like chopped up cranberries and homemade heavy whipping cream, like whipped cream with heavy whipping cream and marshmallows, and then I think a chopped up Granny Smith apple. You make like a relish with like the apple and the cranberry first and the sugar, and I think you let that like marinate overnight, and then the day of you mix in the marshmallows and make the whipped cream with heavy whipping cream, and mix it all together so that it's like fresh and fluffy. And there's family controversy about if it's called cranberry stuff or cranberry fluff, and I honestly can't remember, but we can share the recipe because my family's from the Midwest and we have no qualms.
But I remember it as cranberry fluff.
That is very interesting. I think it's fluff. I don't know. Every year I do this, and every year my mom's like, "Kaylee, this is the right one," and I don't. I lose it again by the next year. Um, Another topic of family conversation is, do you eat cranberry sauce? The can.
I personally do not like, but my family does partake.
I never had it, but Jason said we had to get it, and I love it.
I think it's too tart. I'm not a cranberry person to begin with, unless you give me a no. No, I'm just not a cranberry person.
That's fair. That's fair. Do you have a favorite family dish? An iconic chessman plate?
Iconic would be my mom's orange worm because it's kind of different.
The fuck
And
is an orange worm?
you've had it before, I'm sure. Maybe not. So, wait, why don't you just guess first before I describe it?
I don't know. All I can think of is a literal orange worm.
So it's like Jello and sherbet and some other stuff in like a ring shape
In a bundt
dish.
cake.
Yes, and it's like jello-y, and it has mandarin oranges in it, like chunks. It's like a side sweet dessert. Oh no, I'm sorry, it's not a dessert, but it's a sweet side, and it's pretty iconic for Nancy, for Nan.
I'm obsessed that she calls it an orange worm. I think I've seen it before. I don't know if I've ever had it. I've had something like it. That feels like a very Midwestern dish. Anything in a
Oh,
bundt feels like a Midwestern dish.
yeah, yeah.
I really like that. This would be a fun topic of discussion as well, just to compare and contrast across the table, but have everybody go around and show you how they eat their Thanksgiving food slash like arrange their plate. Because that's one thing I've noticed is I am very much a like I want everything separate, except my gravy goes on my stuffing and my mashed potatoes and my turkey, but I don't want it touching any of my other stuff. And I swear to Jesus that Jason sits down, puts everything on his plate, and just like stirs it all up.
I need to keep it separated. Besides what you said, the gravy can go on those three items, and those three items only can kind of intermix just slightly, but they're all in their separate place. My question is, do you guys do rolls or not? Like any sort of bread rolls?
I never did growing up, but Jason has to have bread at every meal. So now we have rolls.
Ah,
We just always had bread in the stuffing. So I guess that was the bread.
I mean, there's plenty of carbs, but I do enjoy a good roll.
I like a crusty hard roll.
Ooh, no, I like a soft one.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Oh,
Strong opinions. Maybe we shouldn't talk about this. I'm just kidding.
oh, I forgot another iconic thing that we eat since I've been married or since I've been with Jason is his mom makes this Australian stuffing. And it's, I don't even know how to describe it. It's all the stuff that you would put in normal stuffing, but it's like smushed, condensed. So it's like a piece of bread almost. And she puts it out on like a flat pan and puts it in the oven. And it's so good. It is so good.
That sounds really good.
This might be controversial, and so maybe it's not a topic of conversation, but I just need to know, do you stuff, okay, who makes stuffing in your family? And is it cornbread or regular?
So, great question. Both moms on both of our sides make stuffing. They make it very differently. I like them both. Honestly, my mom's gonna hear this. Okay, never mind. I love both of their stuffings equally, and but it's normal stuffing. I do believe that. So I think Kenny's family does also make cornbread, but I could be making that up. The actual stuffing part is what you would normally expect, like a stuffing would be, not cornbread.
Okay. Or maybe that's cornbread dressing. That was one thing I learned when I moved to the South was like stuffing versus dressing. And then
Oh,
apparently, did you know you're not like supposed to put the stuffing in the turkey butt anymore?
why? Because of diseases?
Something about them just dumb shit. I think the turkey cooks a little bit slower because there's something in the cavity, like of its
I mean, that
butt.
makes sense.
But
But
I
I
used a
feel like
lot for it.
you get the turkey juices in
Yeah.
it, and then you mix it up with all the others.
Yeah, so they can fuck right off. To be fair, now my stuffing, my like the turkey's butthole isn't big enough for how much stuffing I want. So I've started also doing like a pan, kind of like
Yeah.
dressing style, and then pouring like some of the turkey juice on top of it. Um, but yeah, that's always a fun fact to discuss: stuffing, dressing, cornbread, regular. This might be a north and south thing. I wonder what like western slash northeastern people do, or if it's a mishmash.
Hmm. What's the difference between dressing and stuffing?
I don't know.
No.
I feel like dressing you make in a like a 9 by 13, and there's probably some different rules. I would really like to try making cornbread dressing. Okay, this has been a lot of jib jab. Um, if you have a family that can tolerate a little bit of self disclosure, I would highly recommend that everybody go around, all the women of the table, and talk about the first time that they leaked through their tampon, because you don't need to get into the bloody details, people. But I think everybody in the family would be really shocked to know that every woman has had that experience, either in middle school or high school, and then probably once or twice in adulthood. But I don't know that everybody understands just the sheer and utter awkwardness of how trying to navigate the early years of bleeding.
I know. I know. I'm sure. I mean, it's kind of just bound to happen. So everyone's probably got a story or two to share.
I think it would help future dads and future grandpas, and just of all kinds, to know that if you, a woman in your life or a girl child in your life, randomly like runs to the bathroom or needs to change her pants or has a sweatshirt tied around her waist in a season that it doesn't seem seasonally appropriate, you just mind your own business.
And if you're a teacher, do we talk about this on here? And a girl asks to go to the bathroom, and then she comes back and asks to go to the bathroom again. Let her go.
Right.
Did we talk
Also,
about this
girls
on
of
here?
the world, we may have, but girls of the world, if you're young and you're listening and you're still in school and the teacher tells you you can't go back to the bathroom, I would really encourage you to stand up and just say, I need to change my tampon. I really want to empower you to do that. Do not take advantage of it and go in the bathroom and go on TikTok. That's not the point.
Put your cell phones in your locker. Actually, keep them at home. Actually, don't have them at all. As in the other week's
As in,
episode.
see our episode 2 weeks ago when we talked about how great it is to live school without being recorded.
Yep.
What if you would have leaked through and some bully would have recorded you with your red butt?
Oh god. And you know that shit can go viral, and then it's viral forever. Oh my god, yeah.
Oh, don't, boys and girls, don't do that. Leave people alone. Puberty's hard enough. Anyway, everybody can walk around and share their story. You could do a share your most embarrassing moment.
I
That's
like that.
always a good one.
It's a
I
good one.
think one year Jason's mom told us all a story of the first time that Roxanne cussed her out. And honestly, I kind of try to get her to tell us the story every year because it is so delightful. And her reaction, not to tell her story for her, but basically her reaction was good for you. That was like her first thought, that she was proud that her daughter was standing up for herself and finding her voice, which is why his mom is a gem. But we have learned some real great stories over the years, getting the parents to tell like embarrassing childhood stories or reflecting on that stuff. It's amazing how every person kind of has the different view of the story. So when everyone tells a story all together and everybody's present, it's really fun to watch multiple different people remember it differently or remember a different point of view. And then if they're not like trauma stories, usually it's fun to compare and contrast.
Yeah, don't over. What's it when you try to beat the other person and no, my story's more embarrassing than yours.
I don't know what the exact word is, but my favorite phrase I've ever heard that called was "stop it competing in the oppression Olympics."
That's yep. Yep.
Wasn't there? There's an SNL character who always used to one up people. Anyway, um, I have a tip if you are in the medical field or medical field adjacent. you need to ensure that everybody in your family is down for medical field discussion and to maybe like reel it in. Because I can't tell you how many times Jason and I have caught ourselves alone over dinner talking about bodily fluids and death or just nonsense. And I'll be like, dude, if other people were here right now, they would be so mad at us. And it happens every once in a while where we'll be around other people and they're like, we're eating. And
Yeah.
it doesn't occur to us that that's a problem. So, your family doesn't want to hear about wounds. They don't want to know about fluids. Just, I don't know. Keep those for after dinner talk. Or, if somebody's overeating and you need them to stop, then maybe bust out a story or two. I don't know. You'll have to feel it out. Yeah, just tell them like one time I was in middle school and I stood up and I went, "Oh no." And it was too late and I could see the evidence on the chair that I sort of had to like scoot off of, and thank God I had a sweatshirt. I still remember it's my purple sweatshirt. I don't even know what the fuck I owned that was purple and why, but I tied it around my waist and I wore it that way for the rest of the day.
The sweatshirts, man, around the waist are clutch.
I know. Man, even the other day at work, I ended up doing like a bingo dot on my chair because it surprised me. And I was wearing like a skirt and then I had tights on. So there just wasn't a lot of material available for absorption. And I must have put my cup in wrong or just made some type of a miscalculation. And I stood up and I was like, are we in middle school again?
Oh no.
Don't worry. It wasn't like a Halloween horror fest. It was just like I knew a smudge. But thank God I work somewhere where there's like alcohol wipes aplenty and I was able to take care of things. But I always thought I was more at risk of pooping my pants as an adult than I would have been of like leaking. But it turns out that your parts can still surprise you. And you probably have to deal with pee sneezes now. So
For the first couple months, every kind of cough, pee, sneeze, pee, laugh, pee, walk too fast, pee. But now it's better. I don't really get that anymore. Thank goodness. I have a good one. What is a goal for next year?
ooh, I like that because we don't all usually get together for New Year's. So that's a good one. And then you could do what's one accomplishment from the last year. For everybody that has weird families and that causes them existential dread and they're not supportive, I guess maybe stay away from the goal talk. But for people who have like nice families that are supportive, I give it a whirl, see what happens. For the rest of you that are trying to avoid having to have any real conversation or be triggered by any of your family members, I would tell you to just go back to talking about the food on your plate. Just talk
Mm-hmm.
about that.
Mm-hmm.
But pro tip, no one listen, don't nobody wants to hear about your dietary restrictions. Do not talk about how much weight you're trying to lose. Nobody wants to know about how much sugar is in something. No sugar, no calories, no carbs. If you're gluten free, you need to just be quiet unless it's like a legitimate allergy, and then you can get lumped in with the allergy nerds. But everybody else just needs to calm it down. And if you're not eating a certain thing for the holiday season, you just keep that shit to yourself. Don't put it on your plate and move along.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, the dietary stuff is. It's just like, really, do we have to talk about this? Can we just all enjoy our food?
I know. Let's just shove our bodies full of food, be disgusting food whores, and then slip into a coma for the rest of the afternoon until you burp, make a tiny bit of space, and then cram some pie in it.
Okay, what about this? Pecan or pecan?
Okay, this is a constant problem for me. I think I say pecan and I think I say caramel, but I think that may also be from Starbucks.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just curious.
What do you say?
Pecan. I don't pull off pecan. You want that pecan pie? It doesn't roll off my tongue.
I thought pecan sounded northern.
Really?
I
Pecan?
guess I can hear it when you say it that way that it sounds southern too.
Um. Well, Either way, maybe don't debate how pecan is pronounced, but you could discuss your favorite pies, favorite type of
I
pie.
find never-ending pleasure going around a table and asking people to pronounce different words. That is fun if you have families from different parts of the country.
That's true. If it's like a cordial conversation, it could be really funny.
Mm-hmm. Because there were things that Jason said when we got together that I was like, "What in the tarnation is coming out of your mouth?" And
when you
he
moved to
what
when you moved to Florida, there was some things that you started to say. And I'm like, I've never heard her say these things, but it's just like you kind of shift a little bit.
It's true. I'm a chameleon and I love language, and I intentionally tried to absorb where I was so that people stopped asking me, "Where are you from?" Because that got real old. Um, I do remember telling everybody at Thanksgiving, asking them to describe what the thing is that you put your groceries in. That's a good one
Yeah.
because I call it a cart and Jason calls it a basket.
Oh, yeah, I definitely call it a cart.
And then
Oh,
the other
that's
people
weird.
down here call them a buggy, which I hate.
What?
Can
No.
you go get a buggy?
Get a boogie. No, that's so weird. Sorry, no offense.
The first time we went to a grocery store, Jason told me to go get a basket, and I came back with a basket that you hold in your hand. And he looked at me, he's like, "What are you doing with that?" And I was like, You have to get a basket." And he's like,
So
"No,
what
the
is
one you
it?
push."
Oh
He
my,
calls it a fucking basket.
that's not confusing at all.
I know. I really, those are my favorite conversations, going around and comparing all of them because, obviously his mom will say what he says. That's usually where people get it from. But that's always kind of an enlightening thing. And now that we've got more blending in the family with me and him being married and then my mom being remarried, there's and then my brother-in-law is outside of the like original clan. There's a good mix of some different perspectives and some different people doing things. Um Also, side note, my brother-in-law and I think sometimes have like secret moments of trying to get people going in a jokey way and then get like a side eye every once in a while when one of the iPod clan gets out of pocket. It is really entertaining. I highly recommend if you have an in-law that's like not from the core origin family that you suck up to them immediately because it's really, really, really fun when your spouse is around their sibling and then their parent and they all start sort of interacting like they did when they were 8, to
Mm-hmm.
have somebody on the side that also sees it with you that can giggle. Her husband's son is married to a woman who always hides a fake finger in all of her foods.
Oh
It's
my.
delightful. I am never endingly amused. And she'll put it in different areas and like then she'll tell us where like she's texted me before because I'm not with them on holidays because they're in another state, but she'll text our group chat like here's where I'm hiding the finger, and then we get like updates as the day goes on if anyone finds it.
That's I love that. That's actually terrifying though. But I guess everyone knows at this point, right? So they're kind of on the lookout. You would hope.
I don't know, it's like a big old rubbery like witch looking finger. I really want to get some and do it. I think everyone in my family could hang.
Just don't do like anything too small so no one like accidentally chokes.
Yeah, that's true. You don't want to do that. That might freak them out. Well, whatever. It's like hot Mardi Gras. You hide the baby in the king cake.
Mm-hmm.
Just like hide a finger in something and then that person gets a prize. That would be very fun.
I like that.
I also recommend having a signature alcohol drink and don't make it too strong. That way you can kind of moderate the drinking in the family. I feel like we've gone through an extensive guide that helps you put up the bumpers, prevent too much controversy, maybe have like a little dibble for fun, but nothing too serious.
Okay, here we go. There's 9. Okay, these are topics that should be considered safe to talk about during Thanksgiving. The Justice League is back. Babies are cute. Name of a not present relative that everyone thinks of is kind of a mess. Is kind of a mess, right? Bonus points if they're dead. They should bring back Oprah Winfrey Show. I wish they would solve homelessness. I miss Tom Petty. What are we all doing to prepare for the big one? I'm not even sure what that means. Steph Curry's good at basketball. Traffic is worse than it's ever been. Thanks, Lizzie. Thanks, Lizzie, for your.
Lizzie, I don't know where you live, but if you bring up Oprah Winfrey within like 250 square miles of my house, it is promised to be a controversy.
A
Controversy.
controversy. What's so controversial? I mean, I have thoughts, but
I think a lot of people don't like her, and then a lot of
yeah,
people really do. I think you have
yeah.
pretty polarizing viewpoints.
Same with Steph Curry. Even though, yeah, he's objectively good, like that could lead into many other theories of sports and who's the best.
Also,
Horrible.
Lizzie, we don't want to cultivate cheap relationship bonds by shit talking our dead relative.
How awful was that
I
one?
think Brene Brown said that is like the worst and cheapest way to try to like curry favor and make friends.
So
Now,
bad.
if you're, I mean, I will find an allowance for discussing a dead relative with like fond, jokey memories. Like
There's a big
how my
difference.
great grandma was dating this alcoholic who was just always this lump that came to all of our things. And I never knew my great grandpa, so it's not like I was sad. But there was Leonard sitting on the couch, not really doing much of anything. Turns out Leonard was a lot younger than great grandma because she would never tell the men she dated what her age was. Um, one year, I vividly remember her asking for a ride back to her place and that Leonard needed to be dropped off because Leonard was staying with her, which then caused all of the children to talk about if great grandma was still having sex. These are great memories. These are the kinds of memories I want to talk about at Thanksgiving. And then after everybody got done wondering if great grandma and Leonard were hooking up, uh, another great memory is that Leonard died before her because he was unhealthy as shit, and we all found out because we went to her house one day and she opened the door and just went, "Well, Leonard's dead."
Oh my.
What?
Oh my.
I wish I would have known her more. She was very interesting.
Um.
So,
Wow.
you know,
Anyway,
you can talk fondly of the dead, a little jokey of the dead maybe, but I don't know if we should go like shit talking our dead ancestors and get bonus points for it.
so bad, so bad. So yeah, Lizzie's list was not helpful at all, and
Do not talk about the homeless. I guess because she's assuming everybody's going to say, yes, I wish there was no homelessness. But nobody can do that. They're all going to talk about how to solve it. And inevitably, somebody's going to be like, what's Grandpa Joe Biden's fault? And then somebody else is going to be like, well, Trump would have fixed it if he would have stayed in office. I mean, the rabbit holes that you can go down from that.
Yeah, so
Lizzie,
bad.
Lizzie, I don't know what kind of pancake eating family you come from, but these are not good. These are not good pieces of advice. This is not ideal.
I thought you'd get a kick out of it, which is why I wanted to share it.
I guess another pro tip then is to not read Google articles about what to talk about at Thanksgiving.
Or have some major discernment when doing so.
Jesus. Well, listen, the moral of the story is know your family and know your audience. And it really and truly, if there are people who get like too rowdy about certain conversations, just make rules when they come over. No politics, no birds, keep it light, keep it fluffy. It's fine. Just talk about good memories, favorite past vacations, your beloved family dog, unless one of your family members got rid of it. I think we both have a sore wound about that. Just kind of figure out what the groundwork is. Figure out where you can go and where you can't go, and then just tell everybody your expectations. And if you're the one hosting, I don't know, put a
House
sign on the
rules.
front door. Yeah,
Yep.
the following topics are not to be discussed.
I need to put that up for Christmas. No, I'm kidding. Well, this was fun. There's so many other ones that would be. There's so many other topics that would be funny to discuss that aren't good to talk about, and I like that we explore that in our podle.
Me too. Me too. So just like we said at the beginning, go to our YouTube channel if you want to see the antithesis of this discussion. Um, yeah, if you are going somewhere for the first time and you just want to like light it up and let it explode, we have some perfect ways for you to do that we have not discussed here. So, if you're feeling a little bit evil this season, I don't know, check it out. Give us some tips. Let us know how your non controversial Thanksgiving goes. And as always, our little gobblers, we're thankful for you, and we will see you next Tuesday.
And have a good turkey Thanksgiving. What? Love you, bye.
Okay, love you, bye.